pregnant for Blueface. It don't sound like he want to get nobody pregnant. He over there talking about some slow kids. He need to sit down and put some condoms on. And he talking about making some slow kids, honey. I don't know what the going on. He trying to do the shit on purpose at this point. How did you feel about Junior stalling out during the live yesterday? I didn't see the live, my dear, so I wouldn't know what you're even talking about. How can he do anything for the baby if the baby mama went on the run with the baby? I can't blame my baby daddy when I went on the run with my baby. I can't blame Dre's daddy for when I went on the run with him. Can I blame him? Nope. Do I regret it? Absolutely. Did I ever do it again? Nope. You gotta do what's best for your kids, even if you don't like that motherfucker.
The internet didn't just wake up that morning, it detonated right when Fight Night energy was supposed to be building, right when gloves were getting laced and promo clips were circulating. One livestream claim flipped the entire narrative. Upside down, Karlissa jumped online and suggested that Chrisean took off with Junior ahead of the big night. Not postponed, not rescheduled, took off, and just like that. The storyline swerved harder than a last-second plot twist in a season finale. If chaos were a sport, this would be a championship round. Now, let's be clear. This is a public claim that sparked reactions, not a confirmed courtroom verdict. But social media does not operate on patience. It operates on adrenaline within. Minutes, timelines were on fire, screen recordings were circulating, and reaction pages were eating it up like it was premium content. The word "fled" echoed across feeds with dramatic emphasis, and suddenly the fight wasn't the main event anymore. The drama was. People started choosing sides before breakfast. Some said it was protection. Some said it was pressure. Others said this saga has more twists than a reality TV marathon. Memes flew. Hot takes multiplied. And digital detectives started connecting dots that may or may not even exist. Because when a claim drops this loud, the internet doesn't ask questions. First, it reacts first. The moment that claim hit the timeline, everything shifted. What was supposed to be pre-fight hype instantly turned into family drama discourse. Karlissa didn't ease into it or soften the wording. She delivered it with confidence, implying that Chrisean had taken Junior and left before the major event. Whether people believed it or not almost didn't matter. The energy of the statement alone was enough to shake the internet awake. Now remember, this was a public accusation shared online, not a verified legal document stamped with proof. But in celebrity culture, tone can feel like truth. The way something is said often carries more weight than what is actually confirmed. Karlissa spoke like someone who believed what she was saying. And conviction spreads fast in a digital world addicted to drama. Leading up to the fight, there had already been tension simmering in the background. Interviews had edge. Comments carried subtext. Supporters and critics were already debating discipline, focus, and readiness. The fight wasn't just about stepping into a ring. It symbolized redemption, growth, and proving doubters wrong. That's why this claim hit harder than usual. It interrupted a narrative people were invested in. When the word "fled" started circulating, it became the headline. That single word turned speculation into spectacle. It sounded dramatic. It sounded urgent. It sounded like something out of a reality show trailer. Social media thrives on words like that because they paint pictures instantly. And once a picture forms online, it rarely fades quietly. Reaction channels clipped the moment within minutes. TikTok stitched it with dramatic music. Twitter threads popped up dissecting tone, timing, and facial expressions. People zoomed into livestream details like they were examining evidence in a true crime documentary. Every pause was analyzed. Every sentence was replayed. The internet doesn't just watch anymore. It investigates. Supporters of Chrisean pushed back immediately. They argued that motherhood comes first and that public pressure can overwhelm anyone. They pointed out how intense the scrutiny has been leading up to the fight. Some suggested that stepping away could be about protection rather than avoidance. In their eyes, it wasn't a dramatic escape, it was prioritizing family. On the other side, critics framed it differently. They questioned timing and accountability. They suggested that leaving before such a public event could look suspicious. They debated whether the pressure of the spotlight became too heavy, and in the middle of those debates, nuance struggled to breathe, because online conversations rarely leave room for gray areas. What made the situation louder was the emotional history between everyone involved. This wasn't a random accusation between strangers. There has been ongoing tension, back-and-forth commentary, and public disagreements before. So when Karlissa spoke, it wasn't in isolation. It was layered on top of months of prior exchanges. Context amplified everything. The fight itself had been marketed as a big moment. It represented focus and determination. Critics were watching to see whether preparation matched promotion. Fans were ready to witness growth. So when the narrative suddenly pivoted to family drama instead of footwork and training, it felt disruptive. The spotlight shifted from gloves to gossip instantly. Silence from the other side fueled even more speculation. Social media hates unanswered claims. Every hour without a response turned into a new theory thread. Some assumed strategy, others assumed emotional exhaustion. A few went full conspiracy mode, crafting elaborate timelines connecting past interviews to present tension. Engagement climbed higher with every assumption. Memes started circulating that same evening. One joked that the fight card needed a storyline. Update: another compared the situation to a soap opera character leaving town before the wedding episode. Humor became the coping mechanism for confusion. Because when celebrity chaos reaches peak levels, laughter becomes the audience's shield. The algorithm rewarded the noise. Videos analyzing the claim pulled in views rapidly. Influencers shared takes packaged in sarcasm and dramatic flair. Podcast hosts built segments around a single live stream snippet. Everyone wanted to be part of the conversation. When controversy trends, participation feels mandatory. Underneath the spectacle, though, there was a more serious undercurrent. Public family conflicts play out in front of millions now. Personal disagreements become headlines, emotional reactions become content. And once something is clipped and reposted, it lives forever. That reality adds pressure to every word spoken publicly. Karlissa's tone remained firm. She didn't appear uncertain. That firmness shaped how casual viewers interpreted the situation. Confidence online often translates to credibility, even without receipts. And once audiences start leaning toward belief, it becomes difficult to reverse momentum. Perception cements quickly in viral moments. At the same time, supporters emphasized how overwhelming constant scrutiny can be. Preparing for a fight while navigating non-stop commentary is not simple. Cameras capture every misstep. Critics amplify every flaw. The emotional toll of that environment is rarely acknowledged. It's easier for viewers to judge than to understand. The conversation expanded beyond just one claim. It became about co-parenting dynamics under public pressure. It became about how family tensions escalate when millions are watching. It became about the difference between personal decisions and public narratives. But as always, the loudest parts overshadowed the thoughtful ones. As fight night approached, the storyline felt divided. Instead of focusing purely on athletic preparation, feeds were split between boxing discussions and drama breakdowns. Some fans expressed frustration, wanting the spotlight back on performance. Others admitted that the drama was part of why they were watching in the first place. That's the paradox of modern celebrity culture. Controversy attracts attention. Attention fuels relevance. Relevance sustains careers. But controversy also reshapes reputations. Every viral moment adds another chapter to a growing public narrative. And those chapters don't disappear when the trend cycle moves on. By the time the dust started settling, one thing was clear. The claim had done exactly what viral statements are known to do. It shifted the spotlight. It redirected conversation. It injected unpredictability into an already intense build-up. Whether viewers saw it as concern, criticism, or chaos depended entirely on which side of the timeline they stood on. Because once the claim made its rounds, the internet didn't just react. It escalated, commentary multiplied by the hour. Reaction channels went live with dramatic titles and flashing thumbnails. Influencers leaned into the spectacle with exaggerated size and raised eyebrows. It was no longer just about what was said. It was about how loud the echo became. TikTok creators jumped in with reenactments that blurred the line between satire and commentary. Dramatic background music, flow zoom-ins, mock breaking news intros. What started as a live stream moment turned into a full-blown digital production. Social media has a way of transforming seconds of footage into an entire cinematic universe, and this storyline was trending like a franchise sequel nobody saw coming. Pop culture comparisons flooded timelines. Some said this saga has more twists than a long-running reality series. Others joked that the plot could rival a streaming drama with 3 seasons and a reunion special. The exaggeration wasn't subtle. It was intentional. Hyperbole is the language of the internet, and this situation spoke it fluently. The louder the claim felt, the bigger the comparisons became. Meanwhile, boxing fans found themselves caught in the crossfire. They tuned in for training updates and fight analysis, but their feeds were saturated with family commentary instead. Analysts tried steering the conversation back to footwork and conditioning, but the drama had already hijacked the narrative. In modern celebrity culture, controversy outruns competition every time. Public opinion continued splitting into sharper lines. One group argued that stepping away before a high-pressure event could reflect emotional strain. They emphasized how intense public scrutiny can affect decision-making. Another group framed the timing as suspicious, questioning commitment and preparation. Neither side had verified details, yet both spoke with certainty. Online debates rarely wait for clarity. The meme machine kept spinning, edits comparing the situation to movie escape scenes racked up views. One viral clip jokingly added dramatic chase music behind the original livestream soundbite. The humor softened the tension but amplified the reach. Laughter doesn't neutralize controversy, it spreads it further. Every share added another layer to the spectacle. Influencers outside the immediate circle started chiming into podcast. Hosts offered half-serious breakdowns about family dynamics in public life. Commentators discussed how social media magnifies personal disputes. Some framed this situation as another example of how fame complicates private relationships. Others simply leaned into the chaos because chaos performs well. As the hours passed, the absence of an immediate detailed rebuttal created even more noise. Silence online can feel louder than speech. Every delay became interpreted through individual bias. Some called it strategy, others called it confirmation. And in the absence of official statements, imagination filled the gaps generously. What made this chapter especially intense was the history behind it. This wasn't a one-off disagreement surfacing from nowhere. There had been months of tension, live stream debates, and emotional exchanges. Each past moment resurfaced in compilation videos. Old clips were reposted to support new narratives. The internet stitched together a timeline that may or may not have reflected reality. The fight. Promotion itself started feeling secondary. Comment sections under training videos weren't analyzing technique anymore. They were debating family decisions. The spotlight drifted away from the ring and toward relationship dynamics. It was as if the storyline demanded center stage, and the sporting event became a supporting character. Some viewers expressed fatigue. They wanted focus. They wanted performance. They wanted the gloves to speak louder than the gossip. But even those viewers kept engaging with the content. Outrage and exhaustion often coexist online. People claim they're tired of the drama, while simultaneously refreshing their feeds for updates. The algorithm noticed the surge. Videos dissecting every word climbed in views. Headlines grew more dramatic with each repost. Content creators understood that attention peaks during confusion. The more uncertain the situation felt, the more people clicked. uncertainty is digital gold. It keeps audiences hooked, waiting for the next reveal. Underneath the exaggerated commentary, though, there was a serious undertone about public parenting. When family disputes unfold online, they invite millions of interpretations. Every decision becomes symbolic. Every action gets labeled, and once a label sticks, it shapes perception for a long time. Public narratives are hard to rewrite once they solidify. Karlissa's involvement kept the conversation active. Her willingness to speak openly ensured the storyline never cooled completely. Supporters praised her transparency. Critics questioned whether public callouts help long-term stability. The debate extended beyond one claim and into broader discussions about boundaries. But again, nuance struggled against virality. As fight night approached, anticipation felt different than originally expected. Instead of purely athletic suspense, there was emotional suspense layered on top. Viewers weren't just wondering about punches thrown, they were wondering about relationships. The spectacle had expanded beyond sport into something more personal and unpredictable, and that unpredictability became the defining theme. No one could confidently predict the next live stream, the next statement, or the next viral clip. The only certainty was that the saga wasn't over. Every development seemed to set the stage for another twist. In the digital age, cliffhangers aren't season finals. They're daily uploads. By the end of this phase, one truth stood out clearly. Whether the claim reflected concern, frustration, or misunderstanding, it reshaped the conversation entirely. It proved once again that in celebrity culture, perception can punch harder than reality. And once perception trends, it becomes the story people remember. As the noise reached peak volume, something interesting happened. The conversation shifted from shock to consequence. The initial reaction wave had passed, but the ripple effects remained. Because viral moments don't just disappear when the timeline scrolls on, they settle into public memory and quietly reshape reputations. And this claim, whether accurate or misunderstood, carved a permanent chapter into the ongoing saga. For Chrisean, the spotlight grew even harsher. Every move became scrutinized through the lens of that single statement. Supporters doubled down on defending her intentions, emphasizing emotional pressure and motherhood. Critics sharpened their commentary, framing the situation as instability. The same event created two entirely different reputations depending on who was watching. Perception became the real battleground. Karlissa, meanwhile, cemented her role as a vocal presence in the storyline. Speaking publicly ensured she stayed central to the narrative. Some viewers praised her for saying what she felt openly. Others argued that airing family disputes online only deepens divides. Regardless of perspective, her influence over the conversation was undeniable. When she talks, the internet listens. The fight itself became layered with subtext. It wasn't just about athletic preparation anymore. It carried emotional undertones shaped by days of viral speculation. Viewers tuned in not only to watch performance, but to read between the lines. Body language became content. Facial expressions became headlines. Even silence felt symbolic. One of the biggest impacts was how quickly public narratives hardened. Once people form opinions online, they rarely adjust them easily. Clips live forever. Screenshots don't expire. Even if context eventually surfaces, first impressions linger. That's the cost of viral moments in a world where attention spans are short but memory archives are permanent. Another layer of consequence involved the broader conversation about public parenting. Millions of strangers weighing in on family dynamics creates a surreal environment. Decisions that might normally stay private get dissected in comment sections. Empathy competes with entertainment. And sometimes entertainment wins. The human side of the story risks getting overshadowed by the spectacle. Influencers who rode the wave for content eventually pivoted to the next trending topic. But the central figures don't pivot so easily. Their real lives continue beyond the algorithms. Interest, public perception, however, doesn't reset with the trend cycle. Each viral chapter accumulates, building a complex public image that can be difficult to simplify later. There's also the reality of brand impact in the digital era. Reputation directly connects to opportunities, sponsorships, collaborations, invitations. They all orbit around perception. Even unverified claims can influence how industry insiders evaluate stability and reliability. That's why moments like this carry weight beyond just social media commentary. At the same time, controversy can also sustain visibility. In celebrity culture, staying talked about often equates to staying relevant. Silence can fade careers, noise can prolong them. It's a paradox that keeps many public figures in a constant balancing act between exposure and exhaustion. Drama attracts attention, but attention extracts energy. For viewers, the aftermath offered a lesson in how quickly narratives spiral. A single live-stream statement triggered days of discourse, memes, debates, and think pieces. It demonstrated how modern celebrity stories are co-authored by the audience. Every share, every comment, every reaction adds to the plot. The line between observer and participant blurs completely. The emotional center of the situation remains sensitive. Whenever family dynamics are involved, the stakes feel higher. Online debates might treat it as entertainment, but real people carry real consequences. That tension between spectacle and reality defines much of modern fame. The audience consumes drama in clips, while the individuals live it in full-length. As the dust slowly settled, curiosity remained. Would there be clarification? Would there be reconciliation? Would this chapter fuel future tension or fade into background history? The unanswered questions kept engagement alive. Because unresolved stories generate anticipation, and anticipation keeps viewers watching. Ultimately, this episode reinforced a pattern. In high-profile relationships, every disagreement risks becoming public property. Every emotional reaction risks becoming viral content, and every claim, whether proven or disputed, shapes perception faster than facts can catch up. The internet moves at lightning speed, but clarity often walks. The Fight Night narrative will forever include this twist, not because it was verified in a courtroom, but because it trended in real time. And in today's media ecosystem, trending sometimes feels louder than truth. That's the uncomfortable reality of digital fame. Yet one thing is certain: the saga isn't finished. Public stories like this rarely conclude neatly. They evolve, they resurface, they echo. Today's controversy becomes tomorrow's callback reference. The timeline never truly forgets. And as long as microphones stay on and livestream buttons remain one tap away, the possibility of the next viral moment lingers. Because in this world, the bell doesn't just ring in the ring, it rings online. So now I've got to ask you, what's your verdict? Was this just another internet moment blown out of proportion? Or did this claim completely flip the Fight Night narrative? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now, because this debate is nowhere near over. I want to see real opinions, not silent scrolling. Pick a side, break it down, and let the timeline feel your energy. If you rocked with this breakdown, don't just sit there. Smash that like button like it owes you rent. Hit subscribe like you're locking in VIP access to the wildest celebrity breakdowns on YouTube. And turn on those notifications, because when the next live stream goes left, you do not want to hear about it late. Around here, drama doesn't knock politely, it kicks the door open. We don't just report headlines, we dissect them. We don't just watch chaos, we analyze it. This channel stays ahead of the noise, ahead of the rumors, and ahead of the next viral explosion. Because in today's world, scandals drop faster than surprise albums, and we are always ready. Trust me, if you think this story is over, you haven't been paying attention. In this universe, there is always another twist loading, and when it drops, we will be right here breaking it down with energy, sarcasm, and zero fear. Stay tapped in. This is Celeb SYNC, where the drama never clocks out.